Paulus was gasping with fright. "It's dangerous. I don't like it." "Think of saving the train," Bobby implored. "That's what matters most." "It's coming," called Peter. Also, his voice was instantly wiped out in a weird wind of sound as the roaring train thundered nearer and nearer. Bobby waved her flags furiously. She was sure it was no good, that the train would never see them in time. "Move!" shouted Peter as the train steam surrounded them in a cloud of white, but Bobby couldn't. She had to make it stop. With a sudden squeal of brakes, a train started to a halt and the driver jumped out. "What's going on?" Peter and Paulus showed him the landslide, but not Bobby. She had fainted, lay on the track, white and quiet as a fallen statue, still gripping her petticoat flags. The driver picked her up and put her in one of the first-class carriages. Peter and Paulus were worried until finally Bobby began to cry. "You okay, saved the lives today," said the driver. "I expect the railway company will give you a reward, just like the real heroes and heroines," breathed Paulus. Chapter 4. The Terrible Secret. The railway company did want to reward the children. There was a ceremony at the station with a brass band, bunting, and cake. All the passengers who had been on the train were there, as well as the railway director, the train driver, Mr. Piggs, and best of all, their own old gentlemen. The railway director made a speech praising the children, which they found very embarrassing, and gave them each a gold watch. When it was all over, the old gentlemen shook their hands. "Oh, do come back for tea," said Paulus. They climbed up the hill together. Bobby carried the magazines Mr. Piggs had collected for her. He'd made a parcel of them, wrapped it in an old sheet of newspaper. Back home, Mother, Paulus, and Peter chatted with the old gentleman. Bobby went into her room, also through the magazines. She undid the newspaper wrapping and idly looked at the print. Then she started. Her feet went icy cold and her face burned. When she had read it all, she drew long on an event and breathed. "So now I know," she thought. "It was a report of a spy trio with a photograph of the accused. It was a photograph of father, and underneath it said guilty, and then 5 years in jail." Bobby scrunched up the paper. "Oh, Daddy," she whispered, "you never did it." Time passed. The old gentleman left and it grew dark outside. Supper was ready, but Bobby couldn't join the others. Mother came to find her. "What's the matter?" she asked. Bobby held out the papers. "Tell me about it," she begged. Mother told her her father had been arrested for being a spy. Papers had been found in his desk that had proved he had sold his country's secrets to enemies. "Didn't they know he'd never do such a thing?" Bobby asked. "There was a man in his office he never quite trusted." Mother replied. "I think he planted those papers on father." "Why didn't you tell the lawyers that?" Bobby wanted to know. "Do you think I didn't try anything?" Mother demanded. "We just have to be patient and wait for him to come back to us." "Why didn't you tell us?" "Are you going to tell the others now you know?" "No," said Bobby. "Why?" Bobby thought hard. "Because it would only upset them." "Exactly," said her mother. "But now you found out, we must help each other to be brave." They went into supper together and saw Bobby's eyes were still red with tears. Peter and Paulus never guessed why. Chapter 5. The Man in the Train. The long, cold winter blossomed into spring, and that summer, Bobby couldn't bear the way time passed with nothing happening. Mother was unhappy, Father was in prison, and she couldn't do anything to help, so she wrote a letter, and once more it was to the old gentleman. Soon after she sent the letter, Bobby had her 12th birthday. Mother gave a bracelet she no longer wore. Peter and Paulus made a cake, and Mr. Pierce brought a bunch of flowers from his garden. It was very different from her last birthday, and she had a huge party and lots of presents. This one was happy enough, but Bobby missed her father so badly. Her mind was filled with wanting him. Then, a summer's day, when the roses were out and the corn was ripening to go, Bobby found it impossible to be concentrated on her lessons. Please, Mother, she begged. Can I go outside? Do you have a headache? Asked Mother. Bobby thought, not really, she replied. I can feel your days. I'll be more alive in fresh air, I think. Mother let her go, and Bobby found herself walking down to the station. She felt as if she were in a dream. At the station, everyone smiled at her, and Mr. Pierce shook her hand up and down. I saw it in the papers, he grinned. I'm so pleased. And here comes 11 and 54 London train, back on time. Saw what in the papers? Bobby asked, puzzled, but Mr. Pierce had turned away, blowing his whistle as the train drew into the station, and Bobby was astonished to see handkerchiefs fluttering from every window. Only 3 people got out. An old woman with a basket of swagging hands, the grocer's wife with some brown paper packets, and third, oh, my daddy! Bobby cried, pierced the air. People looked out of the windows to see a tall, thin man and a little girl rush up to each other with open arms. I felt something strange was going to happen today, said Bobby as they walked up the hill, but I never guessed what. Didn't Mother get my letter? Father asked. There weren't any letters this morning, Bobby replied. Mother wrote to tell me you found out, he said. You've been wonderful. The old gentleman has too. He helped them catch the real spy. Now, Bobby, run ahead and tell Mother and Peter and Paulus I'm home. He paused in the garden, looking around at the rich summer countryside with the hungry eyes of someone who has seen too little flowers and trees and the wide blue sky. Mother, Bobby, Peter, and Paulus stood in the doorway. Father went down the path to join them. We would follow him. In that happy moment, in that happy family, no one else is